Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Bashim Shah, double line to the Apostle GMS. This is Amna Allah coming at you with the video. And basically, I'm going to be going through this scripture real quick because I almost got into a situation not too long ago with some damn Negro, with some damn nigga that I almost got into something with a few months back. It was a small situation, nothing major. But the situation could have went left, and resulted in a physical altercation. But the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah had it so that I applied the scriptures. So let's get right to this. Proverbs 16:32, it says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city." Right? He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Why is that? Why is a person that's slow to anger is better than the mighty? A person that's slow to anger is not easily triggered. A person that's slow to anger have means of being able to compose themselves. A person that's slow to anger has self-control. They're not easily riled up, and they're better than the mighty. Why is that? It tells you right here, "And he that ruleth his spirit, then he that taketh the city." A person that's slow to anger is a person that rules the spirit, but a person that's mighty is a person that can take a city. In other words, a mighty person could take a city because they have mastery over others. A person that's slow to anger rules their spirit because is better because they have mastery over themselves. And through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah, the spirit had it so that I was slow to anger in that situation. At first mentally I was riled up, ready to go. But the spirit had it so that, basically once the words started being spoken, I was slow to anger. Like I said, it wasn't a major situation. Nothing like, it wasn't like we barking each other back and forth or somebody put hands on somebody. It wasn't nothing like that. It was a small little minor situation. Truth be told, 1 Corinthians 10:13. "They have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful. So there's no temptation that taketh you, but such as is common to man." And that kind of temptation is common to, any man. Like the temptation to fight, that's common to any man because we're in the flesh. And in the flesh, sometimes you're going to want to get carnal. But it's a battle between the spirit and the flesh. See, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So if you're tempted, the Most High is faithful, one that you can trust in, that he will not suffer you, will not allow you to be tempted above what you are able, meaning what? Above what you are able to bear. So any temptation that comes our way, the Most High is going to make it so that you're able to bear it. But with the temptation, also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. See, so the Most High is going to make a way for you to escape the temptation so that you can bear it. And that's what the Most High does. And these things we got to apply. It's not all about breakdowns and prophecies. Don't get me wrong. Those things are good. Those things are great to know. But one of the major things, one thing that's often forgotten is, conduct. You know what I'm saying? Proper conduct and the truth is a very important thing. And a lot of people miss that part. A lot of people miss that part. The lack of proper conduct and the truth is what causes guys to get kicked out. Romans 8:6, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." Right? To be carnally minded is death. What does that word mean, carnally? Sarx.
Strong's G 4561. Sarx.
There you go.
Sarx.
Said it right. Sarx. Flesh comes down. Here you go right here. The flesh denotes mere human nature, the earthly nature of man, apart from divine influence, and therefore prone to sin and opposed to the Most High. See that? The earthly nature of man apart from divine influence. That's what it means to be carnal. It's separate from it's the earthly nature of a man apart from divine influence. So it's your nature as a human being, but it's that nature that's not being influenced by the divine or not being influenced by the Most High, and therefore prone to sin and opposed to the Most High. Something that's prone to sin is something that has a tendency to sin. And if you have the tendency to do something, you frequently do it. And when you're carnal, that's in opposition to the Most High, because it's separate from the Most High's divine influence. It's not spiritual. See? It's not spiritual. And having that mentality, be carnally minded, can lead to death. You know? What's that word there, minded mean?
Strong's G 5427. Phronema. Phronema.
Phronema. What one has in the mind, the thoughts, purposes. It doesn't really say much there. Excuse me. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. What do you mean spiritual? That is pneuma. That just means spirit. Yeah, basically this means spirit. Okay, let's get another scripture. Proverbs 14:29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. See that? A person that's slow to wrath is of great understanding. If you're a person who's easily angered, you're not of great understanding, man. Because you're letting your emotion get the best of you. And that could happen. That's happened to me throughout my life. That's happened to all of us. All of us have at some point in time have allowed our emotion to get the best of us. But he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. And these are the kind of scriptures brothers should read, man. You know? These are the kind of scriptures that brothers should read. You know, like I said, the breakdowns of the prophecies and history, all of that's cool. That's great. It's great to know. But this is important too. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalts folly. Right? A person that's hasty. Let me get over hasty.
Strong's H 7116. Katser. Katser.
That's quad tazar. Short, impatient. In size, number, life, strength. So it says short, impatient. And what was that word there? Let's go back. Slipped my mind. Hasty. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. Right? See, a person that's slow to wrath is of great understanding, because they understand why. If they're hasty in spirit, that can exalt folly. See? That's why a person that's slow to wrath is a great understanding, because they understand if their spirit, if they're not slow to wrath but rather hasty, that's foolishness. Because if they have great understanding, they'll be slow to wrath because they understand what being hasty in spirit can get them, which could ultimately lead to destruction. These are things brothers gotta take heed to, man. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. So we walk in the flesh, these physical bodies, but we don't war after the flesh, because our warfare is not a physical fight. We're not fighting a physical fight. For the weapons of our, and it tells you why. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. That's the reason why we don't walk in the flesh. We don't war after the flesh, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. That's the weapons of our warfare. It's not carnal, but it's spiritual. Mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. So everything we do is spiritual. Now, we aren't perfect. You're going to be tempted. But see, what you have to do is, you have to pray to the Most High that He delivers you not into temptation. Look at that real quick. And that scripture said to the pulling down of strongholds, and the strongholds is your mind. And you pull out the strongholds of an individual's mind with this truth. Matthew 6:13, right to the point. This is when Yahushua, the Lord, the one who ignorantly called Jesus Christ, was teaching the disciples how to pray. He said, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So we got to pray to the Most High not to lead us into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. The word temptation means.
Strong's G 3986. Pyrasmas. Pyrasmas.
Parasmas. Enticement of sin, temptation, whether arising from the desires or from the outward circumstances. So whether it arises from desires that are within you or from the outward circumstances that you're around. It says rebellion against the Most High, by which his power and justice are, as it were, put to the proof and challenged to show themselves. So when you're tempted, it's like a rebellion against the Most High, by which his power and justice are, as it were, put to the proof and challenged to show themselves. So the righteousness that you have within you is now being put to the test. Are you going to stand by that, or are you going to be tempted and are you going to falter? Let's go back. And it said, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Tawab. So with that, I'm going to close and say, oh, praise Yahweh, Shem Shai, double line, say, Apostle GMS. I hope you learned something. Shalom.